one of the telescopes that are there, they have a very old telescope, one that is literally a telescope.
Hey everyone.
Okay? It's a massive thing.
What you're hearing in the background is
you pinpoint your location and then you fire the laser. You're not firing the laser through the telescope.
a live broadcast by some guys on TikTok. Those are flat earthers, and it's a kind of a debate. But I just wanted to show them this, so I'm doing this live streaming to YouTube, and this is what's happening right now. This is Jupiter through my telescope right now.
Okay, look. If this is the telescope, okay, we're talking about the apparatus is attached to it. I might find something I can throw on here. It's attached to it, to the side of it. It's attached to it. It's not going through the telescope. It's not firing out of the telescope. To the telescope.
Let me just check my live broadcast.
If this is the telescope, okay, we're talking about the apparatus is attached to it. I might find something I can on here. I have to look at specifically where it is, but I'll be on the side of it.
It's on the secondary mirror. It's on the secondary mirror or on the front of it. Yeah, Maria, so I've given them factual data, and they're refuting the factual data that I'm giving them. And this is from, not myself, not my personal beliefs, but from the Apache Point Observatory, and they're denying it. So there's nothing more I can do with science.
Okay, well, one thing, the
Okay.
Apache Point Observatory...
Let me try to do something here.
2020.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
By the way, you can see one processed image. Well, it's not fully processed, but this is what we can expect to get. Something like this.
And you were trying to disprove him on something that you were actually talking about.
Oops.
The Apache.
Sorry.
The Apache laser is 140 megajoules, and you don't turn megajoules.
I'm gonna make this as a time lapse as time goes.
To watt seconds.
Okay, just 1 second.
You can try to teach me something, but you're not going to...
They're arguing about the laser that they shoot to the moon to be reflected.
Or watt hours or gigawatt hours is probably what you use.
Doctor, you said a 3.5 meter beam would burn a hole in the moon.
It's not a 3.5 meter beam. It's not. That's not the size of the beam.
I'm telling you right now, it's a 3.5 meter beam that diverges to 2 kilometers wide.
It's not. None of that is true.
So Maria, can you be the moderator on this? If I disprove him on this, you have to clearly say that Riz has disproven you and you lot don't know science. Is that agreed?
Maria, he disagrees with me. It's not fair.
No, I can prove it, and so therefore I need to clarify this because I'm not going to argue on every little point because you lot don't understand science.
So the Apollo...
I've explained to you that it is an apparatus that is attached to the telescope and is not even running anymore. The beam is 3 centimeters wide. The beam was 3 centimeters wide in 1980. I don't know what the beam's diameter was any time recently. But in 1980, it was 3 centimeters wide. It's not a 3-meter beam. The telescope may be a 3-meter telescope, but it's not the same device. So when I went to Cincinnati Observatory and I did my experiment, I did not put the laser into the telescope. It did not fire out of the telescope. It was used the telescope to pinpoint the location so that we could fire the beam.
The telescope is like a sniper scope, and the laser is like the barrel.
If we were to go back to the metaphor with the sniper rifle, you don't measure the caliber of the bullet by the diameter of the scope.
I'm telling you guys, it's 3.5 meters at the location they're firing from.
Can you please provide me with some kind of data that says that? Because right here on the website it says that it was 3 centimeters in 1980.
The telescope that it is mounted on for sighting is the telescope that it's mounted on is 3.5 meters.
See,
I don't think it's particularly nice to try and drag Maria in as a moderator here, because Maria puts up with all of our nonsense very patiently already, so...
Yeah, seeing here is I'm giving factual information and I'm seeing like elementary level replies, and it's kind of frustrating.
Elementary level replies.
I've got two guys who claim to be experts in their field, but they're denying a basic fact. What more can I say?
I'm gonna draw this for you. Grab my.
No, you don't need to draw anything because I'm giving you facts and I'm giving you 100% correct information right now. And the fact you lot are saying it's not right shows that you're wrong.
Let me give you an elementary level response. This is the telescope. We're gonna pretend this is the telescope, okay? This thing is 3 meters. We're gonna say right here, 3 meters, okay? The device is attached to the telescope. Might be here, might be here, might be up here. It's attached to the telescope. It fires a beam that is 3 centimeters, okay? 3 centimeters is less than 3 meters.
Oh, lovely example. Now, put your laser in the middle at the front of that telescope.
Okay. 1 centimeter times 100 equals 1 meter. Therefore, this 3 centimeters times 100 is 3 meters. So this is 100 times different.
Now put your laser in front of that telescope.
You want me to put it on front of the telescope? Okay, we'll put it on front. We're gonna say that they're gonna mount this laser on the end of the telescope. Which is probably not good for the telescope, but we're gonna say that's what they're doing, okay? So we've got our telescope here, all right? We're gonna put our apparatus right here. Now this is still 3 meters. Okay? The beam it fires is still 3 centimeters. Because it's not firing through the telescope.
Fire that beam into a parabolic mirror inside the telescope.
But they don't do that.
You're telling me what I know. You're telling me what I know and what I don't know.
But this is the best part of it. This is the best part of it, okay? So let's say that there's a parabolic mirror here, and we're going to fire into it. We're going to do all the calculations we need. We're going to fire a beam into a parabolic mirror. This is a 3 centimeter parabolic mirror. The beam that comes out is still 3 centimeters. It does not get expanded. That's not how that works.
Okay. And what if I can disprove you on this? What would you say?
I mean, I've disproved you on a lot of different things, and you've said a lot of different things. I did
not disprove me on a single
experiment myself.
You've said
This isn't someone else's paper. This isn't someone else's university. I personally did the experiment.
That's the same as saying I personally watched the astronauts go to space.
If someone said I personally was there on the moon, I mean, that person is an expert. But I mean, I'm not getting, I'm not in the public eye. I'm not paid by NASA. I did the experiment myself.
Okay.
He does have to get your word for it.
Maria, you show YouTube. Yeah, I think Maria, if it's possible to show YouTube, I can show you the video with the 3.5 meter information and the 2 kilometer information. And then we can prove that Dork Toast and Johnny Astronomy have been wasting all our time here today with misinformation.
I have YouTube open.
Okay, if you type in on YouTube "shot to the moon,"
Wait,
and it's by a guy named Wayne Astronomy or Wayne something, Wayne for photography.
What did you say? Shot
The link.
Shot to the moon. SHOT space the moon, and it should show an observatory, Apache Point Observatory.
Okay, I googled YouTube shot to the moon, right?
Yeah.
Let me turn the camera around. I can't switch the camera. I don't know. As I said earlier, I have a glitch on my TikTok. I literally don't have access to anything except accepting guests and end the live at some point. But that's not it.
YouTube. I'm going to appear like YouTube shot to the moon. What else?
Type in Apache Point Observatory after all, Apache Point.
Okay. Alright, we got the moon, Apache Observatory, lunar laser. Is that the one you're talking about?
Is the username Wayne Photography?
Yeah, Wayne's Photography. Okay. You have a timestamp you want me to look at?
Yeah. Can you show the screen to the viewers and put it on 6 minutes 30 seconds and play from there?
6 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay.
Shortly after that, very shortly, but if you show the screen to the viewers so that they can see the numbers pop up in front of the face, so that...
Sure.
I appreciate that, Dr. Toast. I appreciate you're going to show the world that the beam was 3.5 meters and then it goes to 2 kilometers. Yeah, play it.
Wait, alright.
Show the subtitles, it'll make it easier for people to see what's
that's what I'm
happening.
doing right here.
Yeah, thank you. When it goes through the telescope, yeah? 3.5 meters. What did I say?
That is...
When it gets to the moon,
telescope
it's 2
is 3.5
kilometers.
meters.
No, you guys have been disproven and destroyed on Alive today.
Well,
so therefore,
No,
there's
go
nothing
ahead
else
and look.
to do
Go
with
ahead
you
and look
guys.
at the outside of the telescope.
Yeah, you've learned something from a
until
flat
it gets to
earther.
the
A
part
flat
of
earther has
the
taught a NASA astrophysicist and taught another person who's done the laser ranging system.
Wait until you get to the
This is
outside
what
of the
happens when you
telescope.
try to don't listen to people, when you don't listen to what someone's explaining to you and trying to say that you know better.
This is 3.5 meters.
They fire the laser into the telescope and it comes out of the telescope. She says that in her video, they fire it through the telescope and it comes out 3.5 meters wide.
I'm listening to it right now. Hang on, because some of the captions are they're auto-generated, so they're not necessarily correct.
This is.
They have their own caption that they place on, showing the distance and the beam dive. Do you see the whole thing lit up at the bottom? That's called the objective primary lens. Yeah, where the light hits, and then it goes on to the secondary lens, which is inside that tube, which is where they receive the photons back from the moon. Allegedly. But yeah. Do you now agree that the beam is 3.5 meters, Dr. Toast, or are you still denying it?
Wayne Photography. No, I'm just not familiar with this one, man. I'm not familiar with this. One, I'm not familiar with this observatory. I'm not familiar with their experiment. Maybe that's how they did the experiment, then.
The beam also
So
doesn't
what
go
Clarify
through the
that you
telescope.
so what I 3.5 meters for the beam
What I will say,
comes out.
what I will say,
The beam
hang on.
comes
What I
out
will say
the
is
top.
this. What I will say is this.
So here, and
That's
then
not
goes
the
up.
experiment I did. I'm not a part of that team. That's not what I did. If that's what they did, for whatever reason, then okay, sure. But that still has nothing to do with my experiment.
Okay. The reason.
So they use
See,
the
well, I was
telescope
trying to explain your
for
experiment.
aiming, essentially, and the laser comes out here. You see that green circle right there? The laser comes out here, and it diffracts on a mirror here and goes up into the moon. But they need the center part for aiming, so they get a perfect aim.
Are you still arguing?
I mean, that's what we did. It sounds like she really. It sounds like she described it, maybe like simplified it, because what she's describing isn't really how that works. I mean, that's really what it is.
Here's
It's
the
very
other
likely this was meant as an educational video.
The
But
laser
that's just
hits a
what
mirror,
she said.
comes
Just isn't
down.
really how that works either. And if she was here, I would tell her that too.
and up. Does not go through the
Yeah.
telescope optics.
She's not just an instrument technician. She's actually one of the leaders at that area, and she's probably qualified, got a doctorate or PhD or whatever. So she's not just an instrument technician. She knows what she's talking about. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But no, that's fine. We've clarified that. I was correct, Maria.
I mean, Johnny just showed you the picture there of where the laser is. So, I mean, Johnny just showed you the picture of where the laser is. You showed me this video. I asked you for a video. I looked at that video there, and it really seems like she simplified how the process works because she wasn't building a technical video. She was building a video for the general public.
No, well, I guess. Well, I'm not going to try to embarrass you.
Doesn't really change doesn't change my experiment. Like it doesn't. I still did my
Remember,
experiment.
a 3.5 meter, according to you, a 3.5 meter beam or 3 meter beam would have caused a hole in the moon. But these guys are doing it. So, you know, you spend a good part of an hour disagreeing with me based on the size of the laser and what's happening here. So, I feel I've won today because I've corrected you guys and you lot weren't listening to me. So, I won today, Maria.
I mean, I just looked up the technical document that says that it's a 3 centimeter beam. So, is it possible she misspoke and said 3 meters when she meant 3 centimeters? That's possible.
Nice.
Because the technical
I did.
document on their website says that it is a 3 centimeter beam, not a 3 meter beam. And we've already shown how easy it is to mix those two things up.
You're trying to give incorrect interpretations when I'm giving you the factual correct information. It's a 3.5 meter beam that is projected out of that telescope. And if you want to still say it's a 3 centimeter beam to save face, fine. But I don't want the public to be deceived. That's the reason why I say that your project can't work, because in order to hit the moon,
let's say that it's a 3 meter beam. Okay, we're going to say it's a 3 meter beam, and they're detecting photons. 3.5 meter beam, and they're detecting photons. Maybe that's why they were only looking for 1 or 2 photons, but that doesn't make any sense either, because you don't really look for it by count. You don't really count photons. It's that very weird thing. I don't know her experiment. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I know my experiment, and it seems to me like their experiment and the experiment that I did are very similar. And so what I can take from that is it seems like she simplified it, and maybe she said 3.5 meters when she meant 3.5 centimeters. That's what I'm taking from that, because otherwise what she's saying doesn't really make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense in the same way that when you explained it, I told you that doesn't make sense.
Doctor, I'm going to tell you once again, and I'm being polite as possible, you're 100% incorrect, yeah? The reason being, how do you get a 3 centimeter beam that you're claiming turn into a 2 kilometer beam at the moon? It has to be large at the beginning. It has to be 3.5 meters in order for it to be 2 kilometers.
Exactly. That doesn't make sense, and that's why I'm
captured
saying
this huge soul.
that's not how that experiment works.
That's why I'm saying
I captured this huge.
my claim at the start was there's in one observatory with 50 gigawatts, which is the Apache Point. And I asked Josh
Vrijdag
to show
wordt
me
opnieuw.
these three
I captured this huge
observatories
soul flare
were.
with my
You gave me
telescope.
one with an incorrect power output, which was the same observatory as the one I was talking about, but he said 150 gigawatts.
Power output doesn't matter. We've been over that. Power output doesn't matter.
It does matter, and I'll explain it, but again,
Well, you also got it wrong. You said 50
that I tried to explain to you, but you didn't want to listen. If I explained
You
it
said
to
it was
you,
Arizona State.
I said the state next to Arizona. Like I said, I'm not from America. I'm not meant to know everything about
Well,
America. I said the
Okay.
observatory next to Arizona State.
You said Arizona State University many times.
No, you did, because you emailed the Arizona
And you only changed from Arizona State University when I actually had someone from Arizona State University reply to me by email while I was on this call.
Again,
The Apache Point University has a 115 megajoule.
I can't help the things you guys are trying to just troll
115 megajoules.
spread disinformation here or something along those lines. I'm giving facts today. And when I try to give facts, you guys are coming with incorrect information. So it's like
I
NASA.
provided you all of my facts. Provided you with all of my facts.
Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna end the live for today. I've been live for like 2.5 hours, so I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna watch them.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, 369 people. And thank you, Maria.
Nice to talk to everybody.
Yeah, good
Thank you.
speaking.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yay!
Dork Toast, I'm gonna follow you.
Yeah, same.
Bye, everyone. And for everybody still in, I appreciate everybody coming on. I don't know. What's up? There we go. My TikTok is super glitchy. Like, I literally don't have access to. I have this kind of administration.
היי, מה קורה? כן, עוד שנייה אני אתן הסבר, רק רגע. מה אתם חושבים שרואים פה? זה מה שמעניין אותי. מי שהיה קצת בלייבים שלי, אז צריך כבר לדעת מה אנחנו רואים פה. אנחנו רואים כאן את כוכב הלכת צדק. נכון, יפה. בשידור חי דרך הטלסקופ. הייתי בשידור מקודם, וירדתי כדי לאכול משהו, ועכשיו חזרתי. ועכשיו, נכון, הכתם השחור הזה זה צל של אחד הירחים. אתם רואים שהכוכב זז טיפה לפעמים בפריים למעלה ולמטה, זה בגלל שהעקיבה משתנה טיפה והחצובה מנסה לתקן את המיקום שלו. אני מנסה להתרחק טיפה מהמסך, אוקיי, אז אני עכשיו דרך הטלפון ולא דרך המחשב ישר, שזה אולי נראה טיפה יותר מטושטש, אבל פשוט ככה אני יכול גם לצאת החוצה ולהראות לכם את הטלסקופ עצמו. אז אנחנו רואים שהצל של הכוכב גנימד, הירח גנימד כבר מתחיל ממש לרדת. אגב, אני משדר גם ליוטיוב, אז אם אתם רוצים לראות את זה ישירות דרך המחשב, אתם יכולים לקפוץ ליוטיוב ולראות את זה באיכות טיפה יותר גבוהה. האמת שהאיכות של יוטיוב לא כזה גבוהה, אז אולי תוותרו על זה. אתם רואים? זה כאילו נראה פחות טוב. טיקטוק כתב לי עכשיו שפילטרו איזושהי תגובה של מישהו. מעניין מה התגובה הייתה. לא, אין תוכנה כזאת. זה מאוד קשה לטפל בריצוד הזה. דווקא זה די יציב עכשיו, אגב, כאילו אני יכול לעשות מין משהו שישאיר אותו תמיד במרכז, אבל זה לא יטפל בריצוד. הריצוד זה האטמוספירה, תזוזות של האטמוספירה. תודה, תודה, דני, תודה. תכף נצא החוצה לדבר טיפה על הטלסקופ. אני לא יודע מה השידור ליוטיוב כזה לא איכותי. יכול להיות שהביט רייט פה לא מספיק טוב, בוא נראה. פשוט תראו, זה נראה מאוד מקובץ כזה. לא, זה לא ריצות, זה עיוות, זה לא סתם קפיצות. זה עיוות של כל הצורה, בכל המקומות ביחד. זה מערבולתי, הדבר הזה. בסופו של דבר, אני כן מתקן את זה אחר כך עם מה שנקרא סטאק, הערמה. אבל... רגע. Hey Riz, what's going on? לא, הכוכב מסתובב, אתם תראו שעם הזמן היא הולכת ימינה.
Hi David, how you doing?
Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah. Yeah, not good because UK's got clouds for like 2 weeks, so I can't get the telescope out.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah. I mean, does your where you live or is it far away?
No. Currently the sky here is completely clear.
Clear. Okay.
Completely. Like this is one of those days that you look at the stars and you see everything like crystal clear and so crisp.
Wow. And you don't have light pollution in your area?
I do have. I am actually living in Bortle 9, so heavy.
So
yeah.
You're very much like me. I'm Bortle 8 or 9, yeah, and I use a CLS filter now. So I got a new camera, and with the CLS filter, things look a lot more better. So yeah.
Oh, nice. So anyway, this is a live view now. What we're currently seeing.
Yeah, it's really nice. And are you using the 11-inch on this one?
No, it's the 8-inch.
8-inch reflector or refractor?
Yeah, refractor. It's a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, like the ones with the hole. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really nice image with an 8-inch. I'm amazed. I thought you wouldn't have that kind of detail on the 8-inch. I thought that was an 11-inch image. So you must have very clear sun. You must have very.
It's all about. I'll tell you, it's all about collimation. If you collimate a telescope very precisely, and I became sort of an expert in this because I did it so long, then you can get very clear. It's very interesting. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow because now I'm already I'm doing a time lapse, so I don't wanna I don't wanna disassemble everything and
That's
dismiss.
And I was going to ask, your solar filter, what size is the Etalon and the filter, the diameter? Is it a 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter?
Honestly, I don't know because it's an electric one. It's not a mechanic one like the forgot the name. There's another company that makes them. This one is by Daystar and it's an electric one.
Yeah, so I'm going to buy the Daystar 60 millimeter refractor with the arc on it. So I
Oh yeah,
don't really
Daystar.
know if your filter inside was bigger or same size.
So the good thing about this filter is that you can use it with any telescope. That's a good thing. You don't have to buy like a complete telescope, which is just a telescope designated for the sun. But if you do use a big telescope like I do, you have to put an energy reduction filter in front of it. Otherwise, you might burn everything.
Okay, because your images of the sun make me want to look at the sun because I'm thinking if I can't see the stars all the time, I may as well look at the sun.
You absolutely should. Just be careful. There's a lot of energy that's coming in. But if you're buying a designated telescope, then you're okay.
Yeah, the hydrogen alpha one, yeah. And it's going to get 0.5. What is it?
Yeah, angstrom. 0.5 angstrom. Yeah. That's the size of the bandwidth of the wavelength that you can get with it.
Yeah, it can adjust from 0.5 to 1 angstrom.
So I'm very interested to ask you something, and I wanted to ask you this for a while actually, because sometimes I talk to people that that think that they don't say that my images are fake because I faked them, but they think that I download softwares to capture, and the softwares are what's generating the images in real time, and that's really ridiculous. And I wanted to ask you this because I know that you also do imaging, and you can see for yourself that nothing is being generated in real time. So I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Everything that you showed yesterday, I was on Molly's live. Everything that you showed was accurate, and nothing was faked. The only thing that if I was being critical, I would say that every image that's been stacked and then the levels adjusted is subjective, meaning it's done to your design or taste, but it's still the real image underneath there, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And you know what, I am a sort of a very conservative in my editing. I mean, there are guys that do all kinds of things that I actually really hate, and I sometimes even try to combat this and comment on their post. For example, let me show you just this one guy, which I don't say that I have anything against him, okay? But he's just doing all kinds of very weird editing, and I don't like this. Like for example, putting the dark side of the moon and the light side of the moon together, which is something that it's impossible to do with the regular camera. With any camera, actually, you need such a huge dynamic range in order to capture both of them, and so again, I agree that some people are processing things differently. Some of my friends, when they process deep space imaging, they use the software to remove all the stars from the picture so they can more sharpen the nebulosity, and then they add the stars later. But this is again because I'm such a conservative about this, and I'm trying to stay as close to reality as possible. I don't do this. I never do this.
So David, what is the orbit time of Jupiter? I want to see a video where that spot goes from the front all the way around. How long would you have to image it?
So it takes 9 hours, for example, for this to get to the same point. And when I started this live earlier, the red storm was all the way over here. You couldn't even see it. And now it's already here, like about 2 hours. So yeah, it's pretty fast.
Oh, nice. No, it's really fantastic images. I mean, I love it. I love the quality of your work. And,
this one was earlier. You see
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, if I've recently, just to let you know, recently I've looked at, every possible way, and I agree that the stars, the planets, everything's in a celestial sphere. So that would imply that the Earth is also in that position. But obviously, I have to do some tests for the Earth. But with the stars and the planets, I'm not disagreeing with anything other than the sun.
Well, I'll tell you, the only thing that I use when I try to talk to people that don't agree of the shape of the Earth is just this thing. This thing is something that you can't do on a flat plane. If you see this thing moving and you capture in the sky and you see the center of the sky rotating counterclockwise, you can't on another location on a flat plane see this going the other way around. It doesn't matter how you're gonna look at it, like from this side or from that side, it will always go to the same direction. So even though now east is left and west is right, and if I rotate, east is right and west is left, this thing still goes counterclockwise. So the only way to see it go clockwise is just to move to the southern hemisphere, and then you will see the center of the sky will be around the southern pole, so you see it go clockwise.
I agree, Dedi, and that's why basically I'm not going to deny the stars. I see the truth with my own eyes. The only thing that I thought that there could be an option is that there are two firmaments. So the southern hemisphere is over one area and the northern hemisphere is over another area.
Yeah, but then you will have to have a point at which you will see both of them together, and they will be like moving the opposite directions. You understand what I'm saying?
I know it's very difficult, and that's why I say I can't prove it, I can't show it, so I can't disagree with it. So yes, it's a sphere for the celestial sky. So currently you're imaging Jupiter. You've been doing it for a few hours, and what frame rate are you capturing? Are you doing like one frame every 5 seconds?
Every 30 seconds, I'm doing 1,000 frames. Hopefully you can see this. Yeah, this is what I mean. It depends on the atmosphere at the specific date and the imaging conditions. So now it's a bit blurry and the atmosphere isn't very stable, even though it's pretty clear. So I'm using a kind of a long exposure. I think it's about 50. Yeah, it's about 50 milliseconds of exposure and a fairly high gain, like 160. So I don't want to capture too long videos, because then what's going to happen is Jupiter will rotate and move, and the outcome image will be smeared. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So if I would, for example, do shorter exposures, I might even take 2,000 frames for each of those videos, and it'll give me a very clear image. But for now, it's just not possible with those conditions.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And what file size are these 30-second clips?
Let's see. I think about 400 megabytes, 407 megabytes. Yeah.
Yeah, recording just 1,000 frames on my camera, it's taking. For the smaller camera, it's taking 1 gigabyte for 1,000 frames.
Yeah, so I'm doing a very cropped sized image. So you can see here that this thing is cropping to about 700 times 600 pixels, whereas the full resolution is this, and this will give me a very slow frame rate, and I want it to be as fast as possible. So.
Yeah, so you're using region of interest. No, very nice.
Yeah.
Good. Which is your favorite planet to view?
Well, Saturn, of course, to view, but to image it's Jupiter, because you can see it actually rotating, well, as opposed to Saturn, when you normally don't see it rotate, even if you do a time lapse, because it doesn't have all those features on the surface. So.
You know what? Mars. Your images of Mars and some other people's images, like Sebastian Voltimer, he's done the images of Mars, and I'm telling you, they're so good that I'm thinking that looks like a planet. it looks like it's got land on it. It looks like it's got
Yeah, I mean,
continents on it.
look, this one is an older one, and you can see that it was just as summer began, so the southern pole was not very icy. But I actually captured yesterday. I haven't processed it yet, so it's very crappy looking, but you can still see something very interesting, and I'm not sure if you can see this. The northern hemisphere has those clouds there, and this is something I never seen before. So it's very interesting to see what's this gonna look like after processing.
Okay, so the question I'll have for you for Mars study is that all the current images of Mars I've been seeing. So just to give you an idea, when I was young, when I was first starting physics and stuff like that, we always used to see Mars with one polar, ice cap, yeah, meaning on the north or the south, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, recently, I've been seeing images of Mars with both poles with ice caps on. Have you seen those, images?
No. First of all, it depends on if you see here, this thing is white here, but this is not ice. This is just clouds in the upper atmosphere of Mars. So it depends on what exactly you're talking about, but mostly we are.
I've seen a few people put, stacked images of Mars and it rotating, just like the one you showed me earlier.
You could see it. I mean, Mars's axis is similar to Earth. It's like it's tilted. So if you are at exact tilt as Mars, you can see both polar caps, but most of the time you're not aligned with its tilt, so you probably see more of the southern or more of the northern part of it.
Okay, nice. And have you ever been able to get any detail on any of the moons of Jupiter, Saturn, or even any other place that you can see?
Well, for Jupiter a bit, but not that much. I mean, I never did actually try to give it a fair, Let me show you what I do have, but it's not a good one. This is just
but just to clarify,
very small details.
You can't image Jupiter and the moons at the same time. We have to expose either the Jupiter or the
No,
moons.
Jupiter and the moons you can, but Saturn is a bit more difficult. Jupiter is possible. I've done it several times. Let me show you.
So tell me what settings you use, because I struggle every time I try to get the moons and Jupiter to be able to be seen at the same time. I either get the moon bright or I get Jupiter bright. And I'm not able to get both of them.
So, well, first of all, it depends on which moon. If it's the larger ones, then you can absolutely get them together. You can see here. And it's not something special that I do. It's just regular exposure. I try to keep my planets, when I'm imaging, fairly dark. It's not that bright. I mean, I don't want to get overexposure because those are just burnt pixels and they have no data. So.
Okay. No, mine's very dark. It's just a case of, if I do it any brighter, then the moons shine like stars, and if I do it any less, then I don't see the moons and I only see Jupiter. So that's the problem. But yeah,
there's a software called Stellarium, where you can see which exact moons are going to cross over, and then you probably should choose the bigger ones like Ganymede or Io. Those are the brightest. Like this one is Ganymede, and we just saw the shadow of Ganymede moving away from Jupiter. But the smaller moons like this one, you probably won't see it.
No wonder. Yeah, okay, then I'll try that next time. I've got Stellarium, so I'll be able to work it out. So,
if you want to know when's the big red spot, then there's another software called WinJupus. Let me show you. Because Stellarium isn't accurate in this, but WinJupus is really accurate. Like you can see exactly when's the red dot gonna appear and at what time. Like if I do, I click the real time, then you can see the exact same image that we see right now. Yeah. And of course, everything in those softwares is working according to just normal Newtonian equations. So that's the thing that's cool about this, that you can predict all those things at a very accurate rate, just using by the Newtonian formulas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Really good. Yeah, I mean, if you can capture Jupiter going all the way around with the moons, that would be another good video. I mean, you've already done half of it, and it's just it depends how much sunlight. I mean,
Yeah, that's a problem, that the night is not like, you know, I mean, you have to image for 9 hours, and also you have to be like in a completely clear area, because even in my backyard I have my neighbor's house, and it's about 40 degrees high, so I can't image below 40 degrees. I think
I get about 5 hours of Jupiter or 6 hours of Jupiter. So
that's very good.
I go from east to all the way to southwest, but then I lose them. Yeah.
No, but that's very good. I mean, 4 hours is amazing. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna try to do a time lapse of the sun, and usually for that I just go into Soho website, which is just a satellite in space that's capturing constantly images of the sun, and then with it I can see, you know, what features I'm expected to see, like what sunspot are there, or if there's anything interesting. And you can see like this small sunspot over here is probably going to create a lot of those arcs, of those beautiful arcs that I love going out from the sun. So tomorrow morning I'm gonna do time lapse of the sun.
Yeah, like I say, in the UK we've got 2 weeks of clouds. I can't do the sun or the moon. So, but I'm just thinking, like, Daddy, you give me some advice right now. I'm gonna spend some money either buying a larger telescope or buying a solar telescope. Which one should I do?
I would say solar telescope, and the reason is, first of all, larger telescope requires better sky, and it's a lot more difficult to work with larger telescopes than it is with smaller ones. I actually did want also to buy a larger telescope, and eventually I went for this solar filter. The larger you get, of course, the more accurate tracking you need to do, because each small movement causes very high movements when you're more zoomed in. So I'd say solar, also because the sun is like incredibly interesting, and every time you image the sun, you see something else. Like this thing is this is one of my first video, and it just blew my mind when I saw this thing. And the cool thing is that you can only see those after you do like a time lapse. You never see them in real time. In real time it looks very slow, but then when you play the video fast, and it becomes just incredible.
No, that is fantastic. I'm telling you now, that's fantastic. So I'm going to buy the Daystar 60mm refractor, which has the Echelon on it, and you can take it off as well, and you as a normal refractor as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's very practical. Yeah.
800 British pounds, and I think that's worth it compared to getting a larger telescope. I've already got 3 smaller telescopes, so I think it's better to get a solar filter now. Yeah, good.
Yeah, just as I said, just be careful, because you can very easily burn everything if you don't do according to the instructions and everything.
Oh no, I understand. With the Echelon, you don't have to worry, do you? Because
no,
that one's designed. It's already...
Absolutely. With the Echelon, you don't have to worry, but just without it, it's very dangerous.
Oh yeah, without it, you've got a magnifier, and you're gonna burn your house down and burn everything
down.
Yeah. So,
I always try to remember to say this when I'm on live videos, so nobody will try. Like, I mean, if anybody would try to aim a telescope at the sun, or even look through binoculars at the sun, he will become blind immediately. So never try that.
That's right. Yeah. No, very good advice. I mean, people watch you on TikTok and think you just got a normal telescope looking at the sun, and you've got to explain that quite clearly. I might actually do that, and then put a tag on my videos at the same time saying that do not do this at home, dangerous.
Yeah.
But no. So I heard you're moving to the UK, London. When you're doing that?
Yeah, it's not completely certain yet. I'm kind of trying to convince my other friend to come to come with me to migrate with me, but he doesn't really like UK because it's cold there, and he prefers somewhere.
Like, what part of London would you be moving to?
Well, I don't know yet. I mean, I wanted to look for a house like near London because inside London it's just way too expensive for me. I wanted to look for something outside, like something that you can ride a train to get to London.
Oh, okay, that's fine. The reason I was saying is because when I saw you on the live and people talking about it and saying that London's dangerous and this, that, the other, it isn't. It's just one area of London or one area of certain towns that's really bad.
Yeah.
London's, and I've been in London lots of time, never had one single issue. It's only if you go to, one of the very poor areas or one of the bad areas that you will have issues. So don't rent a house in a poor area or bad area, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it can be dangerous anywhere. I mean, I'm probably currently living in the most dangerous place, so I don't know. Yeah, you just need to try to stay safe. I don't know. Nowadays, the world is going a bit crazy, so it's.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, that's fantastic. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. I'll probably be watching you live anyway because I like looking at Jupiter and I like looking at your videos. So, thanks for having me on. Yeah.
Cool, man. Bye. See ya.
Yeah, and as soon as it's clear skies in the UK, I'll be back with my new camera that I've got, my 21 megapixel 3.7 micron camera.
Awesome.
So I'll be showing
awesome. Wow, nice.
Take care now, Daddy.
Bye. Hey. That's a. Yeah, I'm trying to also stream to YouTube, so that's why not really saying much. Yeah, the shadow of the moon was of Moon Ganymede, and it's already gone now. It was on the top left corner, yes. לא, המצלמה יכולה להגיע גם עד 150, אבל זה תלוי איזה גודל פריים עושים. ככל שהפריים יותר גדול, אז יותר מידע עובר ויותר קשה לה לצלם פריימים מהירים. קשה כל כך לראות את הפרטים, אבל דווקא יש פרטים לא רעים בכלל עכשיו. בואו ננסה לאבד סרטון אחד. I'll try to process one video just to see the quality that I can get. So let's take one of the recent ones. מה זה Starface? Surface? Surface? זה תלוי איזה גודל טלסקופ ואיזה תנאי אטמוספירה. התנאים היום לא אידיאליים. בואו נראה איך נראית תמונה אחת מעובדת. אני עושה עיבוד זריז פה. Just a quick processing. So into sharpening software and then just... Okay, pretty good, don't you think? I mean, it's a bit noisy. Oh, that's an older one. Okay, let's take this one. Yeah, okay, now we're talking. That's much better. Look at those features. הכתמים האלה הם שערות ענקיות על צדק. השערה הזאת היא בגודל יותר גדול מכדור הארץ. אבל היא הולכת וקטנה עם השנים. זה קטע מעניין בצדק שהיא קטנה, ולא ממש יודעים למה, כן? אבל אפשר להניח, זאת אומרת, סך הכל זה משהו מאוד לא אחיד ומערבולתי, אז הוא משתנה כל הזמן. Can you just speed up the video instead of stacking? Yeah, I can, but then it will look something like this, like very blurry. The reason I do the middle processing part, like taking short videos and then each video becomes just one frame, is because I want it to be sharper. So if I would just take a long video, first of all, it would, it would consume my entire disk space. So that's one reason, and then also, as I said, it will look very blurry like this thing. I mean, look at the way this looks and look at the difference between this and that. I mean, it looks like 100 times better, right? This looks like crap. You can't see anything. And this is the same image, just processed and stacked. העננים של השערה זה גזים, אבל זה גזים בטמפרטורות שונות ובתנאים שונים, וגם זה גם סוגי גזים שונים, אז בגלל זה יש כל מיני צבעים. כאן החלק הזה יותר צהוב, זה יותר לבן, זה יותר חום. זה הסיבה. אז למי שלא הבין את השאלה, שאלו אם אני יכול לקחת סרטון ארוך פשוט, במקום לעשות את הסרטונים הקצרים ולהפוך כל אחד מהם לפריים. אז הסיבה זה כשעם סרטונים קצרים אני יכול לקחת ולעשות משהו שנראה מאוד מאוד חד, כי אני יכול לחדד כל פריים בנפרד, והתוצאה הסופית תהיה יותר טובה. Oh yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I understand. I mean, sometimes people just want to see, I mean, yesterday, as I talked about this before, yesterday I was on a live, and those guys, I mean, they didn't really believe that this is a real view. I mean, they didn't think that I was faking it, but they did think that the software that I'm using to capture it is faking it. But I mean, first of all, if you know anything about software development and about rendering of 3D objects or graphics, you know that you can't render something this good like in real time. I mean, even the fastest computers can't really do something like this. So that's one thing. But then also you can see like this is moving, and I can move the mount of the telescope and see it moves accordingly, and I can put my hand in front of the telescope and see it getting darker. So this is something that completely kind of debunks this thing. But yeah, some of the people just want to see the very raw data, and most of the time I do save the raw data so you can really see it. Okay, I think I'm gonna just leave this open. I'm gonna grab something to drink. So see you in a couple of minutes. Maybe I'll put some music so just so you won't be that bored with this. I'll put some music. I can put my own band. So this is a band that I am a drummer for. So let me know what you guys think. צריך להזמין חבר שידור, בוא נראה אם הוא יעלה. Oh, 12-inch Dobsonian, wow, that's nice. I actually wanted to buy this 21-inch Dobsonian. I still am planning, but thanks, Martin. So I'm still kind of looking into it. Okay, let me see if I can invite. Let's see who I can invite. האם השמש מייצרת צליל? היא מייצרת צליל עצום ממדים, פשוט הוא בחלל והצליל לא עובר דרך החלל, אז אנחנו לא יכולים לשמוע אותו. בוא נראה. בוא נראה אם יצטרפו. למרות שג'יימס ווב כן מטורפות. חבל שיוטיוב מראה את זה באיכות כזאת גרועה, אלוהים ישמור. זה פשוט מזעזע. לא מבין למה זה נראה ככה. So I don't know how many of you want me to speak in English. כמה מכם רוצים שאני אדבר בעברית? אני לא יודע איך להמשיך את זה, כי התחלתי את הסרטון בעברית ואז עברתי לאנגלית that is a language I don't understand. Planete. Is it Spanish? What is it? אם יש דבר כזה שמדמה שאין כוח כבידה, לא, אין דבר כזה. ככל הידוע למדע אין שום דרך להתגבר על כוח כבידה, מלבד פשוט ללכת נגדו. צרפתית. Je parle français. אני יודע איזה 2 מילים וחצי בצרפתית. Je comprends français. כן, אנגלית, פשוט רוב האנשים שעוקבים אחריהם הם ישראלים, אז הם מדברים עברית. Maybe I'll try to add something that someone who speaks English to this live. Like maybe I'll try to invite her, or maybe Globy will come up. I don't know. Let's see. If you can share this video, that'd be awesome. How's the singer? No, No, אין חדרים כאלה בנאסא, אי אפשר להתגבר על כוח הכבידה. אין כזה דבר. אין שום חדר שמבטל כבידה. מה שיש, זה מטוס כזה אני אענה על זה באנגלית כי יכול להיות שעוד אנשים רוצים לדעת, אבל אני אגיד את זה בעברית מהר. יש מטוס כזה שפשוט צולל במהירות בדיוק של הכבידה של כדור הארץ, וככה הוא בעצם מדמה מצב של weightless. So, this guy asked if there's anything that can cancel gravity, and for what we do know is that gravity is the curvature of space-time, and there isn't anything that can bend space-time the other way. So that's why we can't really we can't disable gravity or something like this. We can create weightlessness. There is something that's called the zero-G airplane, which is an airplane that sometimes NASA uses, but even you can buy a ticket to it. It's just very expensive. Which what it does is it's every 20 seconds it's diving for 20 seconds at the same speed and same acceleration as the Earth, and then you can feel weightless inside this airplane. But then after you reach a certain height, you have to go back up in order to, of course, not crash in the ground. But yeah, there's nothing that we currently know that can stop gravity from working. למה זה מטושטש? זה מטושטש בגלל שאנחנו רואים את זה דרך האטמוספירה של כדור הארץ, והאטמוספירה מטשטשת את זה. האטמוספירה של כדור הארץ גורמת לטשטוש הזה. If I can recommend a good book for quantum mechanics, אם אני יכול להמליץ על איזשהו ספר לגבי מכניקה קוונטית שכדאי לקרוא בתור ילד, זה ספר שנקרא התיאוריה המוזרה של אור וחומר של ריצ'רד פיינמן. So this book is called The Strange Theory of Light and Matter by Richard Feynman, which it explains something called a QED, quantum electrodynamics, and it's an awesome book. I've read it as when I was a kid. I think I was about 14 years old or something like that. So I was very young, but I still managed to understand almost all of it because it's written in a very simple language. So very highly recommend this book, especially if you don't really know anything about quantum mechanics or quantum electrodynamics. But there are of course other books and everything. למה לא רואים את הסיבוב של הכדור? אז הוא מסתובב פשוט לאט. כל כמה זמן אתה תראה שהנקודה הזאת טיפה יותר הולכת לכיוון הזה. I would read it in Hebrew if you aren't, a very good English speaker, but you can also read it in English. I've read it actually in Hebrew. There's a publication for it in Hebrew. כן, זה ממש כרגע. ממש כרגע. זה live דרך הטלסקופ. This is a live view through my telescope. The phone is a bit close to the screen and it kind of blurs things a bit. But earlier I did a video through my TikTok studio and was a bit better, I guess. So you can also, if you do want to see motion, then I can show you the time lapse that I do. This one is my favorite time lapse. It's kind of one of my sharpest ones. I have a few. Let me show you what I mean. So there's this one. But this one isn't that sharp, but it's a cool one because you can see the moon Io here just crossing Jupiter. Look at how Io is so close to Jupiter that the distance from it to its shadow is so small. And there's this one. And lastly, there's this one. It's not a very good process to capture it through an iPhone, but yeah. על יחס הזהב אני אדבר על זה בסרטון אחר. פשוט כן, אני לא רוצה לדבר על זה גם בעברית וגם באנגלית, ופשוט יש פה הרבה מילים שהן מורכבות בעברית ויהיה קשה להרבה מהאנשים להבין אותם. אבל תעלה ללייב אחר ותשאל את זה, כי זה נושא מעניין. אני חושב שאולי הפוקוס טיפה לא בסדר, אני אנסה לפקס טיפה. בוא נראה. כן, לא, הפוקוס היה בסדר, סתם הרסתי עכשיו. אולי טיפה שיפרתי. מה אתם אומרים? כן, שיפרתי קצת, וואו. אבל שעשיתי את זה קודם. הנה תמונה מעובדת למי שתוהה איך זה נראה כשזה מעובד. היא לא מושלמת, אבל היא די טובה. אתם רואים שניתן לראות כאן אפילו מין כתם אדום כהה יותר בתוך הכתם הזה. הם יכולים רק לגדול, אין להם סוף. כן, צילמתי אתמול, היום אני מצלם את צדק, אני לא רוצה להזיז את הטלסקופ כי אני עושה טיימלפס. אם אני אזיז אותו, אז אנחנו נפספס חלקים בטיימלפס. We already have about, let's see, 112 frames, or 112 videos actually, which each of them will become one frame. So I started at about 7:20 p.m. and now we are 9:40, so that's more than 2 hours now. So again, I don't want to move. I mean, I even didn't change the frame, which I could have changed. I could have cropped this like very small around the plant, but when I started imaging, there was this moon, the Ganymede moon was right in the left corner, so I wanted to capture it too. So that's why I captured like this bigger frame, and I'm kind of wasting this space, but that's okay. That's not this big of an issue. So that's why I don't want to move it to any other location in the sky. Yeah, Mars is kind of close to Earth. You know what? Let me show you. Let me open Space Engine. If you don't know Space Engine, it's a very cool software to use in order to show things and of course to view it yourself. It's a very interesting software. It's very kind of comprehensive. So let me try to put it where you can see it. And now we're kind of looking at Earth, and we can move at any speed we want. Like we can move faster than the speed of light, of course. By the way, you can see that now you can't see any stars other than Earth and the Moon, and that's because of the camera exposure. So if I want to show like both of them, I need to enter this mode, which is high dynamic range mode, which is kind of nothing that can be done in real life, but in the software you can do anything you want. So if I click it, now you can all of a sudden see the stars. And the reason for this is because this side is like daylight side, which is very bright. And a cool thing that I did once was I went inside Earth, like straight on the ground, and now you can see like the daylight here. And then with this settings set, I went and visited other planets and saw what daylight looks on those planets. Which, you know, of course, daylight in Saturn will be a lot less bright than on Earth. So let's look at Jupiter, for example. most of the pictures that you see of Jupiter from NASA and also from me, I mean, they're not like the same luminosity as daylight on Earth, because we use the camera settings to set the exposure that we want, so we can make them brighter. But if you want to see exactly what daylight on Jupiter looks like compared to a daylight on Earth, then let's just visit Jupiter with the same camera settings, and then you see how dark it looks compared to Earth. And if we go to Saturn, it will be even darker. And remember, this is daylight, like this is the way the sun looks from this planet. You can't even see the planet because it's so dark. So let's set the exposure to automatic again, and now we can see beautiful Saturn. Anyway, what you were asking about Mars being close to Earth, so what we can do is we can, as I said, we can move in at any speed we want, so we can just go to Earth. And let me move this a bit to the left so we can see the entire screen. And now we can turn on those orbit lines, which those will show the orbit of the planets around our stars and the orbit of the moon around their planets. So now we're gonna go, you know, as far as we need to go in order to see the entire solar system. I'll make this a bit less bright so the sun won't interfere. And now we can see that Mars is over here, but this is not set to the current time. So let's click this button that will set it to our current time. Okay, and now look at that. This is the Earth and this is Mars. They are almost the closest they can be. So when the year continues, the Earth will continue that way and will be a bit further away each day from Mars. And we can run this as a simulation and just see what it looks like. So I'm just gonna speed up time, and let's stop this right about here. Okay, so at this point the Earth and Mars are very far away. You can see that Mars is over the other side of the solar system and Earth is here. And by the way, if you want to see the way Mars changes in size from our point of view, then there's also a way to do this. Let me show you. So what we do is we go back to Earth, and you can of course see this with your telescope if you aim the telescope at Mars, and you will see that the size changes exactly as is seen here. So we are currently on Earth. We can look to Mars. Let me close this thing. Wait. Mars. And I'm not gonna go to it, I'm just gonna mark it so we can see it. It's over here. Let me turn off those lines. And now we see the Mars is over here. We can land on Earth in a place that we can see Mars. It doesn't really matter where, just we can actually go to exactly where I am currently, which is around where the hell are we? Oh yeah, around here, right? I mean, this is more or less where I'm located. So we just go to the ground and then we look at the stars and we see planet Mars. And now we can kind of simulate a telescope here. So I'm gonna center everything around Mars. Let me just expand this a bit. And now look at this. We can zoom in like we are looking at a telescope. So you need to zoom in a lot, and it's just like looking through a telescope from Earth. Okay, and now, as we said, Mars is the closest to us. So look what happens when I start moving time a bit faster. Look at what happens to Mars. So I need to go a lot faster. You will see that, of course, sometimes it's behind the ground, so we won't see it. but then we'll come up from the other side. So now I'm gonna go a lot faster. But take a look at the size. You see, now it's a lot smaller, and also this part is in the shadow because we look at Mars from the side. So that's the difference in size between Mars being the closest to us and the furthest away from us. So look at how small it gets when it's further away from us. This is the other side of the sun, and now again closer to us. So it's a very big difference. Very big difference. Okay, hopefully this explains it. Why there's no sound in space? So space is empty, and in order for sound to transfer or to go from place to place, what is sound? I mean, sound essentially is vibrations of molecules. So for example, here on Earth, the air molecules are close to each other, and when the sound or something vibrates air molecules in one place, it creates this wave that propagates forward with those air molecules. But in space there aren't any air molecules, there aren't any molecules at all. Almost it's almost completely empty, so sound can't travel through empty space. אני מדבר באנגלית כי אני גם משדר ליוטיוב וגם יש פה אנשים דוברי אנגלית, אז פעם אחרת אני אעשה סרטון בעברית, אבל פעם מדבר באנגלית. Sorry, this time I'm gonna do this in English, not in Hebrew. So Martin, I hope that helps you. It's called Space Engine. It's a very cool software, and the one thing that's very awesome in the software is that you can go again as fast as you want. So if you want, for example, let me show you something interesting. If you want, for example, to even leave the Milky Way galaxy, you can do that as well. Let me just remove the marker here, and okay, now we're traveling further away from Earth. Let me try to brighten the screen a bit. Maybe I close the light here. Wait. Okay, that's better. Yeah, okay, much better. Okay. So anyway, you can see how further away we have to travel to just start to see the background stars move. I mean, wait, let me zoom out. So this is our sun, right? Okay, let's start again from Earth. So planet Earth, right? We're moving further away. The moon is over here. Look at how far the moon from us is. I mean, look at how small the Earth looks when we see both of them in the same picture. They're very, very far away. And now move further away. The moon and Earth almost seems like one single dot, just in order to see the Earth and the sun together. But still, the background stars look like they're completely static. And now I'm moving at a kind of an incredible speed. Like this is 2,000 times the speed of light, and still you don't see the stars moving, because the closest stars to us is 5 light years away. So that means that in order to get to it, you have to travel 5 years in the speed of light. So anyway, we can go but way faster, and let me show you what that looks like. Just brighten things a bit, and now we're going like ridiculously fast. It's about 17 light years per second. This is the speed we're currently moving, and still, like, we start seeing stars move. Okay, each of those dots is a single solar system. Each of those single dots, those are all solar systems. But I mean, even this ridiculous speed, we don't see like the galaxy really moving. Like, we see the stars moving, we don't see the galaxy moving. Okay, so now let's go at the speed of 1,000 light years per second, and now we can start to move further away and get out of the galactic plane. So the thing that we look at the sky and see like this Milky Way, like this line, is just our galaxy from the point of view of being inside of it, because it's a disk. And of course this is a representation of our galaxy. No one will ever leave our galaxy and can know exactly what shape it is, but it's a very good representation according to the evidence that we have. So what we see when we look at the night sky is just this. We're looking from within the galaxy, within the disk of the galaxy, and that's why we see this bright area in the center of the Milky Way. I mean, I'm sure that you all know what I'm talking about, but I also have videos of the Milky Way, and this seems like almost the exact same, and that's what blows my mind. How can a simulation look exactly like real life? I mean, that's incredible. So let me show you just a short video of the Milky Way that I shot a few months ago. I think this is the one. No, that's not the good one. I think this one. Yeah. Okay. So this video is kind of weird because the mount that the camera was sitting on is rotating to compensate for the rotation of the Earth. So that's why you see the ground moving instead of the sky. And that's the morning, of course. And you see, this thing is just the galactic plane that we're looking through. It's the same thing as this. We're just looking from inside the galactic plane, and so it seems like a line in the sky. But it's actually a disk. So yeah, I really like this software. It's pretty incredible. I mean, you can go see nebulas, but you can also go see other galaxies. Like you can see like the entire observable universe. And also what they done here, which is very cool, is they they take into consideration the expansion of the universe. So that's why the further away galaxy, the ones that are very far away, are red because of the red shifting. So if you zoom in, you can see them, but they are red. And there are some galaxies that, if you keep moving, will disappear from view, and it's because they're so red shifted that they go into the infrared light. And kind of infrared is kind of black to us humans, so that's why they did it. But I mean, of course, this is a simulation, so those are not real images, but yeah, you understand. So no, wait. Outside of our solar system, we might be able to travel, but outside of the Milky Way galaxy, that's probably not gonna work unless we have like this warp drive that can go faster than light. And it's just because of how far things are, how distant things are. So again, if we go from Earth to exit the solar system, let's look at how it looks. So okay, so this is the entire solar system. This is the orbit of Pluto, this green thing here. So that's the solar system, but in order to travel outside of the galaxy, look at how small the entire solar system looks when I start moving. It looks like a dot. You can't even see it. It's this dot here. So to get out of the galaxy, we need to travel at ridiculous speeds. So that's not gonna be that's not gonna work. We're probably never gonna live the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, again, unless they find a way to break relativity. The problem with this is that it might create paradoxes. Anyway, I wanted to show you something else if we are in the software. Something kind of funny. I've been seeing those videos by guys that think that there isn't really a spaceship around the moon and Earth currently, and they say how come there's this picture by the Chinese spaceship. Let me show you. I'm sure you've seen it, this image, where people say, you know, it might look fake or whatever, but then they see this other image by I forgot the name, Orion. Yeah, the Orion spaceship, which is currently around the moon. There's this picture, which shows the moon like being a lot bigger than the Earth. And they say, well, how can this be real? I mean, how in this picture the moon is bigger, and in that picture of the Chinese spaceship, the moon looks a lot smaller than the Earth. So I told them that it was just perspective, and in order to show this, I wanted to replicate the exact same image. So what I did is, first of all, I turned off the kind of not realistic camera mode, and then I went and looked for the moon. Okay, the moon is over there. So now if we will go and travel all the way to the moon, say we are, I mean, now it's a half moon, right? So now it's gonna be half moon and half Earth, but that's not what the picture shows. So let's see, let's try to replicate exactly what the picture shows. So let's move further in time to where the moon is completely lit. Okay, so let's move forward in time. Let me just center this thing around the moon, and now move forward in time. Let's do like 2 weeks, I guess. I think 2 weeks is enough. Let's see. Let's see which phase of the moon is currently shown. Where is Earth? Where is Earth? Oh no, I went too far. Sorry, I went to the other side. Sorry, that's too far. Okay, let's go back. So we have to go to a time where, from the point of view of the spaceship, the Earth and the moon looks fully lit. So that is almost it. That is almost it. Okay, let's move a bit further in time. Okay, I think this will be good. No, sorry. Yeah, we still need to move a bit further in time. You see, it's almost like they're almost fully lit. Okay, let's go a bit further. I just don't wanna miss it. Okay, that's fairly good, right? Okay, so now what I'm talking about perspective is like, if you are here, wait, let me move a bit. If you are here, very far from the moon, but then what you do is you zoom in with a telescope, then what you're going to see is the moon being smaller than the Earth, right? Because the moon is smaller, and when you zoom in, the perspectives make it look like this. But if you, on the other hand, are closer to the moon and you're zoomed out, look at what happens. You can actually be so close to the moon that the Earth will look like a tiny dot. It all depends on the camera you use. So this one is very similar to this image of the moon. I mean, you can go a bit further and make the Earth even smaller, but the other one, which I showed earlier, was more like this perspective, just very zoomed in. Wait. Okay. So that one is more close to what the Chinese spaceships see. Look at how easy it is to replicate this. I mean, if you will go like infinitely further away and zoom infinitely back in, you will see the moon and the Earth at their exact sizes. Okay? But perspective causes us, if you're not infinitely further away, perspective causes something that's closer to look bigger than something that's further away. It's just perspective. Okay. Let's... Oh, fuck. Ah, crap. Okay, so Jupiter is gone, and the reason for that is because my telescope has reached the neighbor's house. So let's go and see what's going on, but let me stop the video just to not waste this space for nothing. Is pretty close, and it'll be kind of fun to see how it looks. Yeah, I really don't know why people who don't believe in those things just go and see this for themselves. As I said, like, you can see the changes in Mars across time, and see that Mars is becoming smaller just when the software predicted. So I don't know why people don't do this, but yeah. It's kind of sad for me. Like, I said this in a live a few days ago. It's kind of sad for me that, you know, some people don't really enjoy how incredible and beautiful nature is, because they don't believe that this is real. I mean, when I show them my videos of the sun, for example. So let me show you what I mean. Like this one, for example. So they think that this is CGI, so they don't really appreciate these things. And this is absolutely 100% real imagery of the sun, which I took myself. So to understand that this is real, and to understand that this is just incredibly huge, that is something that I would never want to miss. And I just feel so sad for people not knowing that those things are real, and this really exists day to day, sitting in the sky. Okay, so no more Jupiter, as I said, but let's try to find the moon. It should be fairly easy, because it's very bright, but I am very zoomed in, so let me see what I can do. So I'm gonna open Stellarium again. The reason I use Stellarium is because it's very easy to kind of point the telescope to somewhere else. So just point and select something and just click Control 1, and it tells the telescope to move. So currently the telescope is more or less on Jupiter. I mean, the software doesn't think it's aiming at Jupiter, but it does. It is. So I'm just gonna reset it to Jupiter. And this orange crosser says scope, which is where the scope is pointing. So now we're just gonna select the moon and click Control 1, and that should actually move the telescope towards the moon. And now we're going back here, and we'll try. Okay, yeah, we already see like something bright over here, and that's probably is the moon. Yeah, okay. So as I said, very, very zoomed in. So I have to be slow, move slow. But yeah, we are right at the moon. Okay. Let me reduce. Oh, okay. So the reason it's a bit dark, and the reason for that is because of the neighbor's house. I mean, the moon is probably partially obstructed by my neighbor's house. So yeah, this won't be. Oh fuck! I think I just lost it. Okay, let's. Yeah, I think I might. Yeah, okay. So very blurry again because the moon is being obstructed by my neighbor's house. That's yeah, that's too bad. Probably just seeing like a very small part of it being you know, been behind the neighbor's wall. Yeah, and all those things are just dust on the sensor's camera. On the camera sensor, sorry. So, okay, let's see what else we can aim the scope at. Let's see what's up now. And I still need to stay in the west side of the sky, because if I were going to go to the right side, the telescope would do like this meridian flip, and the cables will get mixed up. So I don't want to change it really. No, but there is actually nothing on this side, so yeah, I might need to really go the other way around. Where's Mars, by the way? Let's find Mars. Oh, that's not Mars. Yeah, I mean it's almost at the top of the sky, but it's more to the east. Okay, we can try to go to Mars. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. And I'm gonna show you kind of a tip to how to find planets when you're very zoomed in. Telescope isn't that accurate. The mount doesn't really take you right to the point, so you have to find it. And the way to do it, like I have, as I said, I have this method that I use, which helps me. So first of all, I'm doing kind of a long exposure just to have a lot of light coming in, and I'm stretching the image to see everything. Like I'm in very, very stretched in. For example, you see here there's a star Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the scope and make it unfocused, like a lot unfocused. Okay, so I'm currently at this number, and I'm going to put 0 here, and I'm gonna create this unfocused image, just so the image of Mars, with instead of being just, you know, a small circle, will grow because it's unfocused, and it'll be easier to find. Okay, so now we look. Oh, boom. Yeah, okay. This is Mars. And if it was just a small image, it would be very, very hard to find. But now look at the size of it. I mean, this is very hard to miss, right? So that's the trick. That's the trick that I use. Okay, let me reset this. And now we're going to take it back in focus. Okay. So a bit overexposed. Let me yeah, first of all, I wanted to do something else. Just a second. I don't know why the frame rate is so low. I think the camera needs to be reconnected. So let me disconnect it for a second and reconnect it. Sometimes the USB doesn't get connected well and the frame rate drops. Oh, okay. Now it looks a lot faster. Yeah, 17 frames per second instead of 5 frames per second, which was what was earlier. Oh, and now, okay, so moving a bit too fast. Let me reduce the velocity of the scope and take this to the center of our view and lower the exposure, and it still looks like crap because it's out of focus. So let me just turn the light off here. And now we're going to bring it in focus. So this is, oh yeah, I have to reconnect this. And now this is a manual thing. I have to do it by hand. Almost fully in focus. And I think this is it. So let's crop the image a bit, zoom in, and yeah, through the iPhone camera it doesn't look much, but this really is a good image of Mars. I mean, it's very sharp compared to what was yesterday. I don't know why the exposure is so fucking bright in the iPhone. Maybe I should turn the light on. Let me try to turn the light on. It does look good. I mean, honestly, it looks a lot better than yesterday. And also yesterday I had all this moisture on the camera's lens, on the telescope lens, and it, you know, it was a lot worse yesterday. זה לא השמש, איך זה השמש? אנחנו בלילה. זה מאדים. Okay, so let's capture just a few frames and try to process it and see if we get anything interesting. Quick capture. Yeah, it is a fairly good visibility now. Okay. I'm going to just process one image just to see what we get here. I think I'm gonna throw my data from yesterday to the trash and just redo it from data today, because it looks like 100 times better than what it was yesterday. Yesterday was really crap. Okay, let's see what we have here. Just a single image of Mars. Ah, it looks a lot better than yesterday. Look at that. You can even see like the Olympus here. This is the Olympus mountain. No, I can't image at Saturn because it's already set. It's behind the ground. So I think I'm gonna do this is the Olympus. This bright spot here, this is the Olympus mountain. It's the tallest volcano in the solar system. Anyway, I think I'm gonna do a time lapse of Mars, because it looks pretty good, I guess. Yeah, we processed it something like this, maybe a bit color balanced, a bit more, bit less saturation. It's a bit red, so I'm just gonna reduce the saturation a bit and maybe do like this yeah, something like this. RGB balance. Yeah, no, that's that's way too much. Yeah, the RGB balance tries to take all the red away, and so you can't do it automatically. But yeah, okay. So let's do it. The duration is the the best I can get. I mean, I just tried to get the maximum, but now I have to take into consideration that Mars is on the east side, and soon it will cross the sky, and I'll have to do this again. Okay, let's do it. Hopefully I have enough disk space for this, because I have all those Jupiter videos. Yeah, 67 gigabytes. I think that's enough. Okay, I'm closing this software, which is the software that I use to just look at things, and I'm opening the other software which I used earlier to capture Jupiter. All right. That's a bit bright, so I'm going to. Oh fuck! That was. Jesus Christ! It's too fast. Okay, I think I can crop this a bit more, just to have more disk space. Oh, the telescope isn't initialized. Oops. Okay. Come on. Ah, crap. It doesn't find the telescope for some reason. Let me disconnect and connect it. That's the cable for the mount. It's separated from the camera because sometimes it causes an interference with the camera. So I separate them. Okay, now it recognized the mount and everything's okay. But of course the parameters of the mount aren't okay. They're not configured right, so let's reconfigure them. I hate when he does that. It's like he doesn't know how to save parameters here. So just to have to manually insert them every time, it's just so annoying. Okay, that should work. Yeah. So this moves up, this moves down, this moves right, and this moves left. It's like the exact opposite. Okay. So turned on the tracking mode, and let's reduce the frame to, I guess, 400 on 400. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks about right. It's going to move it to the center. So what do you think? Looks pretty good. All right. I think I'm going to do maybe 60 seconds each interval, not 30 seconds. It'll be faster because Mars is rotating so slow compared to Jupiter. Okay, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh shit, I fucking hate this software. Why does it have to do this? Okay, cool. So now we have time and I can start processing the earlier videos of Jupiter that we took. Let me just close. Sorry, I don't have that many watchers on YouTube.